Picture this: bustling cities, factories humming, lights ablaze. Now imagine all that activity crammed inside something smaller than a pinhead. That's the world inside your cells, and the power plants keeping those lights on. Those are your mitochondria. Mitochondria are like tiny energy factories, converting the food you eat into usable energy. Without them, your cells would be like cities plunged into darkness, unable to do their jobs. They're essential for everything from breathing to thinking to that brisk walk you took this morning. So next time you feel grateful for a good meal, remember those little powerhouses inside you, working tirelessly to keep you running. They're the unsung heroes of your cellular world, and they deserve a round of applause. We all know food gives us energy, but how do our cells actually unlock that power? That's where our mitochondrial friends come in, acting like microscopic chefs who turn raw ingredients into a delicious energy feast. Imagine this: you eat a slice of pizza. Your digestive system breaks down the carbohydrates, fats and proteins into smaller molecules like glucose. These molecules travel through your bloodstream to your cells, where the real magic happens. Inside the mitochondria, these fuel molecules are broken down even further in a series of chemical reactions. This process, called cellular respiration, releases the energy stored in the food's chemical bonds. But instead of an explosion of heat, this energy is captured and converted into a form our cells can use: ATP, the cellular equivalent of cash. It's like throwing logs into a furnace, but instead of heat, we get energy currency. Pretty neat, right? Now, let's talk about dams, not the concrete kind, but the microscopic ones built inside your mitochondria. These dams are essential for creating ATP, our cellular energy currency. Imagine the inner membrane of a mitochondrion like a river dam. As fuel molecules are broken down, they release electrons. These electrons power tiny pumps within the membrane, which then move protons, positively charged particles, across the membrane. This pumping action creates an imbalance of protons, with more protons on one side of the membrane than the other. Think of it like a crowded room versus an empty one. This difference in concentration creates a force, like water pushing against a dam, called an electrochemical gradient. This gradient is crucial because it stores potential energy, much like water behind a dam waiting to be unleashed. And guess what? This stored energy is precisely what's needed to power the production of ATP. Remember that potential energy stored in the proton gradient? It's time to put it to work. This is where oxidative phosphorylation, the star of the ATP production show, takes center stage. Picture a water wheel nestled within the dam of our mitochondrial membrane. As protons, driven by the force of the gradient, rush back across the membrane, they spin this molecular water wheel. This spinning wheel is actually an amazing enzyme called ATP synthase. With each rotation, ATP synthase grabs nearby ADP, think of it as a discharged battery, and attaches a phosphate group to it, creating ATP, a fully charged battery. This elegant process, powered by the flow of protons, is how your mitochondria crank out ATP, the energy currency that keeps your cells humming and your body running. It's a marvel of biological engineering, happening trillions of times every second throughout your body. Section 5. 2 ways to make a buck comparing energy pathways. Just like there are multiple ways to earn money, our cells have different strategies for generating ATP. We've already met the superstar, oxidative phosphorylation, but let's not forget its less glamorous cousin, substrate-level phosphorylation. Think of oxidative phosphorylation as earning a steady income through a regular job. It's a complex process with many steps, but it churns out ATP in bulk, keeping your cells flush with energy. Substrate-level phosphorylation, on the other hand, is like finding a $5 bill on the sidewalk, a small, quick win. It occurs during glycolysis, the initial breakdown of glucose, and directly transfers a phosphate group to ADP, creating ATP without the need for an electron transport chain or a proton gradient. While both pathways contribute to ATP production, oxidative phosphorylation is the true workhorse, generating far more ATP per glucose molecule. It's the reason we breathe oxygen, which plays a crucial role in this energy-generating process. So, next time you take a deep breath, remember that oxygen isn't just for keeping you alive. It's also fueling the production of the energy currency that powers your every move. Section 6, Electron Highway, the transport chain. Imagine a bustling highway with electrons zipping along, carrying precious energy cargo. That's the Electron Transport Chain, a crucial component of oxidative phosphorylation and the ultimate energy extractor. This intricate chain, embedded within the mitochondrial membrane, consists of a series of protein complexes, each acting like a toll booth on our electron highway. As electrons, originally derived from food molecules, hop from one complex to another, they release a bit of energy at each stop. This released energy isn't wasted. It's used to power those proton pumps we met earlier, the ones responsible for building the all-important proton gradient across the membrane. Remember, that gradient is what drives ATP production. The Electron Transport Chain is a masterpiece of energy conversion, efficiently harnessing the energy stored in electrons to create the driving force for ATP synthase. It's like a well-oiled machine, ensuring that every bit of energy from our food is put to good use. Section 7. Baton pass electron carriers in action. Now, those electrons zipping down the electron transport chain don't travel alone. They rely on dedicated shuttles called electron carriers, molecules like NADH and FADH₂, to ferry them from one complex to the next. Think of NADH and FADH₂ as relay racers, each grabbing an electron and sprinting down the track to hand it off to the next runner. With each handoff, a bit of energy is released, contributing to the proton gradient that powers ATP production. These electron carriers are crucial for the smooth operation of the electron transport chain. Without them, the electrons would have no way to navigate the chain, and ATP production would grind to a halt. So next time you see NADH and FADH₂ mentioned in a biology textbook, remember that they're not just complicated acronyms, they're the unsung heroes of energy production, ensuring that the electron highway stays busy and ATP keeps flowing. Section 8, NADH and FADH₂. Star players on the energy field. We've already met NADH and FADH₂, our trusty electron carriers, but let's give them a proper introduction. These two molecules are like the star players on the cellular energy field, constantly shuttling electrons and helping to score those crucial ATP points. NADH, or nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, is like the veteran quarterback, adept at picking up electrons from various metabolic reactions, including glycolysis and the citric acid cycle. It then delivers these high-energy electrons to the electron transport chain, setting the stage for ATP production. FADH₂, or flavin adenine dinucleotide, is like the speedy wide receiver, joining the game a bit later in the citric acid cycle. While it carries fewer electrons than NADH, it still plays a vital role in delivering those electrons to the electron transport chain, contributing to the proton gradient and ATP production. Together, NADH and FADH₂ form a dynamic duo, ensuring a steady supply of electrons to the electron transport chain, keeping the energy flowing and allowing your cells to perform their amazing feats. Section 9, ATP, the cellular currency we can't live without. Imagine a world without money, no buying groceries, no fueling your car, no enjoying a night out. Just as money is essential for our daily lives, ATP is the indispensable currency of the cellular world. This tiny molecule, adenosine triphosphate, is like a rechargeable battery, storing energy in its chemical bonds. When those bonds are broken, energy is released, powering countless cellular processes, from muscle contraction and nerve impulse transmission to protein synthesis and DNA replication. ATP is the energy source that makes it all possible. It's the reason you can move, think, breathe, and simply exist. Without ATP, our cells would grind to a halt, like a city plunged into darkness. It's the lifeblood of our cells, the energy currency that keeps us going, and a testament to the incredible efficiency of our molecular machinery. Section 10. Powering up how mitochondria keep us going. From the moment we wake up to the time we drift off to sleep, our bodies are buzzing with activity. Every heartbeat, every breath, every thought requires energy, and that energy, as we've discovered, comes from a surprising source: tiny organelles called mitochondria. These microscopic power plants, nestled within almost every cell of our bodies, are the unsung heroes of our existence, diligently converting the food we eat into usable energy in the form of ATP. Through the intricate processes of cellular respiration, electron transport, and oxidative phosphorylation, mitochondria keep the lights on in our cellular cities, powering our every move. So next time you marvel at the complexity of the human body, take a moment to appreciate the tireless work of your mitochondria. They are the engines of our existence, the tiny powerhouses that make life possible.